The number of pending sales in San Diego County continues its 3-week decline, and median price is down from July to August. Hang out with me for the next few minutes and I will show you what I see happening in the data. Today is September 5th, 2024, and you are watching San Diego Market Watch. If you're new to this channel, please hit that like button, give us a subscribe, let us know where you're watching from and what kind of real estate content you want to see next, or what questions you might have about real estate, whether you're a buyer or a seller in San Diego County. We are here to help. So let's get right in to what's happened in the last 7 days and have a look at that new median price data that's hot off the presses. So the number of homes for sale crept up a little bit from last week to this week, as it has been creeping for the last 3 months. Some increases sharper than others, but mostly it's been sort of a slow, steady building, almost up to 4,800 units now, which is still fairly low relative to history, but way higher than it was 3 months ago, and certainly at the beginning of the year. And going back a year or more, it's been much, much lower than that. So getting up near 5,000 units is changing market dynamics quite a bit. And then looking at pending sales, those are down again. We've had 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row where pending sales have been down well below the baseline that we've seen all year long at 450 units a week. We have been cooking along for the last 3 months and beyond at roughly 450 units a week. And then in mid-August, that started to slide, even with the reduction in interest rates. Interest rates going down over the last couple of years has generally shown us a bounce in pending sales, although this time of year, leading into Labor Day, the hottest part of the summer in San Diego County, it tends to be slower. And last summer certainly showed us it showed us the slowest real estate market in more than 30 years. So this summer, still looking better than last summer, although slow right now, even though rates have gone down fairly sharply over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Now, I've heard some comments that, you guys are whining about rates at 6.35. In the 1980s, they were 11, 12, 13%. And I do remember that. I was small in those days, but I remember hearing the conversations around the dinner table about refinancing the house at 12% because the mortgage was 15%. So yes, 6.35% is low relative to that history when you put it into context, although you also have to take into account what the price point now is and what the payment every month is at 6.35%. It definitely narrows the pool of buyers that are out there and qualified to purchase your home. So these are all things to consider if you're thinking about selling a home, especially because median price is down fairly sharply from July to August. We had a sharp upswing from January through April, and then it has been going down since then. Does that remind you of any year in the recent past? It's somewhat similar to 2022, although not the same. I'm not saying it's the same, but it is similar. We have this sort of wild uptick in the first half of the year. Then summer comes along, inventory builds, prices soften, median price goes down. In 2022, what happened is sellers held firm, and eventually enough buyers came in and soaked up the available inventory. Interest rates were high enough that a lot of sellers, or a lot of potential sellers, were not putting homes on the market because they had nowhere to go and did not want to take on a 7% mortgage when they were sitting on a 3% mortgage. So that kept sellers on the fence or out of the market. Buyers soaked up the available inventory, prices started going back up again, inventory started going down again, and that's how we headed into 2023. Now, what's going to happen this summer? I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure, although I do feel like we're going to see an uptick in activity now that Labor Day is behind us and interest rates are relatively low compared with where they've been in the last 12 months. Again, not going all the way back into the 1980s for this conversation, generally just because it's not necessarily relevant to what's happening here in San Diego County today, although it is an interesting point. So that's what's happening in San Diego real estate right now. And we will be back next week with a month-over-month overview. Since this August data just came out, we'll take a look at how this August compared to last August and how July and August this year look to each other. And we'll go back 10 or 12 years with some of the numbers to look at the longer term trends. So stay tuned for that. And that's a good reason to subscribe so you don't miss next week's update and you don't miss any of the smaller zip code updates in between. So with that, I will say have a great day and we will talk to you soon.